Welcome to Lesson 4 of the Linux Beginner's Guide. And the topic everyone seems to dread, permissions. Here's the good news. It's actually the simplest concept in Linux once you see the pattern. By the end of this lesson, you'll glance at something like 755 and know instantly what it means. Readable, executable, ready to run. Let's make it click. So here's the roadmap. 4 small skills that together unlock the whole topic. First, you'll learn to read those cryptic strings like rwxr-xr at a glance. Then you'll use chmod confidently in both its symbolic and numeric forms. After that, ownership with chown, the fix for most permission-denied errors, and finally, when to reach for sudo and when to leave it alone. 4 skills, 1 mental model, a simple grid of 9 boxes. And here's that grid. Down the side, 3 roles, the owner, the group, and everyone else. Across the top, 3 actions, read, write, and execute. Where a row meets a column, you get one simple yes or no answer. Can this role do this thing? That's it. 9 little questions, 9 little answers, and the whole permission system fits inside this one picture. Now let's put that grid into the form you'll actually see on your screen. When you run lsl, you get a string like -rwxr-xr-. The very first character tells you the file type. A dash for a regular file, D for a directory, L for a symlink. Then the next 9 characters are just 3 groups of 3. RWX for the owner, RX for the group, and R for everyone else. 1 string, 4 little chunks, and you've decoded the whole thing. Now that you can read permissions, let's change them. The tool is chmod, and it speaks 2 dialects. Symbolic mode is the conversational one. Chmod, psux deployed.sh, adds execute, GW report, demd, takes right away from the group. OWTR sets others to exactly read. Numeric mode, like chmod, 600, or 755, sets all 9 bits in a single shot, and we'll crack that code on the very next slide. Add a R, and it sweeps recursively through a whole folder. Here's the code we promised to crack. Each digit is just read plus write plus execute. 4, 2, and 1, added together for 1 role. So 7 is 4 plus 2 plus 1, all 3 permissions. 5 is 4 plus 1, read and execute, no write. That's why 755 means the owner does everything, while group and others can run and read. Use 644 for regular files, 600 for secrets like .env or SSH keys, and please avoid 777. That's letting the whole world write to your file. Now, before chmod even enters the picture, there's a question underneath it. Who actually owns this file? Because the owner is the one allowed to change permissions in the first place. That's where chown comes in. Change owner. You'll need root for it, and the syntax is simple. Chown alice for just the user, chownalice.devs for user and group together, or add -r to sweep through a whole folder. Honestly, most permission-denied headaches aren't a chmod problem at all. They're an ownership problem. And speaking of root, that brings us to sudo, which is really just a way to borrow root for a single command. Think of it as 3 states. Your regular $sign prompt where you can't break much. Sudo where you temporarily get admin powers for 1 line, and the hash prompt of root itself, which you generally want to avoid living in. The key thing to remember, sudo trusts you completely. Pause, read what you typed, then hit enter, because sudo rm-rf/ will not ask you twice. So here's everything from this lesson on a single page. The left column is your reading and symbolic chmod. List, add execute, add write for the owner. The middle is removing permissions and locking things down tight, like 600 for secrets only you should see. And the right column is the numeric shortcuts you'll use every day. 755 for scripts, 644 for text, plus recursive changes and ownership. Print it, pin it up, and in a week, you won't need it anymore. Before you go, let's save you a Saturday. 5 mistakes everyone makes at least once. Chmod 777 is not a fix. It's a security hole that happens to silence the error. Reaching for sudo on every command means you've stopped asking why. Confusing chmod and chown trips up almost every beginner. Remember, chmod is what can be done, chown is who owns it, and most permission-denied errors are actually ownership. Forgetting -r only changes the folder, not what's inside. And copying with sudo leaves you a root-owned file you can't edit. Chown it back to yourself and move on. Now it's your turn. 3 quick exercises, all safe to run in your home folder. No sudo needed. First, make a hello script and watch it refuse to run until you add the execute bit. Second, create a secret file and lock it to 600, so only you can read it. Third, list /user/bin/passwd and notice the S where you'd expect an X. That's setuid, a story for another day. Do these 3, and permissions stop being theory. And that's lesson 4. 755 makes sense now. RWX is just a grid, chmod and chown do exactly what they say, and sudo is a tool you respect rather than fear. Linux's scariest concept turned out to be its simplest, a tiny 3x3 table you can read in 2 seconds. Next up, Lesson 5, Processes and System Info. We'll learn PS, top, htop, kill, df, and free, the tools that let you see what's running, take control, and survive that 3 a.m. phone call. See you there.